going live in 3, 2, 1. I am live. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the XRP Community Update with me, Sincerely George. Good morning. And it is Friday. I was complaining it feels like yesterday about it being Monday, but then the week got away from me and it is already Friday. So I'm super excited to have you here. I forgot to send out my tweet saying, hey, I'm going live. La, 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 la. So let me do that right now because it's always more fun with a couple more people. So let's get a chat going here. So who do we have here this morning? I saw that David D was the first person here with some great ideas about how to get more people at the XRP Community Choice Awards. I can't type and actually I can, but I can type and talk about the same thing. Community update is live. There we go. Tweet. So yes, David D was the first person here, and he was here talking about how to get more people to the XRP Community Choice Awards. And I guess yesterday when I chose to just sort of bare my soul, everybody was like, oh my goodness. So a lot of people reached out on Twitter and just said if I had to talk, they were there for me, which I really appreciate. And just a lot of loving support. On top of that, as many of you know, we have exceeded 20,000 XRP raised for the XRP Community Choice Awards. And I had received a tweet from an account that was there, then I couldn't load it anymore. And then it's back again. And that account has said, open up the Community Choice Awards. Tickets have been bought. Why not open it up? Actually, it was a suggestion to open it up. And I was wondering at that point, is this David D? Because, I can't find this account. I never see David D online. And then this morning, before the stream even started, I'm having a conversation with David D and he's talking about doing a Simon class. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's not you. So I still don't know who the donation came from. Nonetheless, the request was to open it up so that all of the different crypto communities could actually see how to do this. It was slightly long-winded, but it ended with a question. So after having a quick chat with David D this morning, I think we are going to move forward with opening it up. The tickets will not be distributed so that everybody gets a ticket. Only the people that bought a ticket are actually entered in the drawing, but we will open it up so that all of the different communities have an opportunity to see how to do fundraising. One of the things that most people probably don't understand about the XRP Community Choice Awards, why did I elect to do an award show, right? I've elected to not have a wedding. Let me put my ring on in case anybody comes to any amazing ideas. But I elected not to have some crazy big wedding because I don't plan very well. I eat peanuts for dinner because it's an easy consumable snack that you can eat out of your hand. Cooking, I can do it, but it's not something that I choose to invest a lot of time in. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but all of the shirts that I wear for work are consistently the same style shirt, same thing with the pants, so I don't even have to think about getting dressed. I'm out of foundation. I have to go to the mall and get foundation. This is a scary ordeal. I need a tactical defense to help me go through that because, well, shopping can be fun. You can buy a lot of stuff, but I'm typical girl, not your typical girl, right? So, the idea of trying to organize an event or organize a party, these are things I do not put on myself. I don't have people over to dinner. I invite them to restaurants instead. So planning an event was not my first choice. My first choice was to have a massive raffle. The challenge with having a massive raffle is that it's illegal. And for an event like this, it's globally illegal. The rules that you have in Canada are difficult. The rules that you have in the United States are broken up by different states, and each one has its own rules. You have to be a registered charity in order to do a fundraiser with giveaways. Otherwise, it is considered to be lottery. And I don't like to break the law. I really like my job, and some of the integrity laws that I have for work require that I don't break the law. Imagine that. So the only way that we could legally give away big prizes and advertise the giveaway of big prizes is to give them away as an event. So yeah, I jumped into it, not realizing that it was going to trigger a bunch of different thoughts. But needless to say, I've got books. I spent all of yesterday reading. I was told to go read. Let me see if I can share this. So this is one. I didn't read too much of this, but this is a great book. I read the first law. I'm supposed to be taking these in my class. I read the first law out of this book, which was great. But I read massive chapters out of this one, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And, I think it really comes down to, and this is another one that I keep very close, the five levels of attachment. If you spend any time talking to me about your challenges in life, I will ask you what your level of attachment is, because it's the way I think and the way I move. And setting up this event, like I said, it's not something that I would have done. Nonetheless, it is forcing me to address some of my challenges in the way that I think, that hold me back from experiencing the highest level of success in my life. And one of the challenges that I have is just being honest about what I'm going through. I am notoriously good at just keeping a smiling face on, and something's a little bit off, but you don't know what's off. So, by sharing what was going on and some of the feelings that I was having yesterday allowed me to have my own personal growth breakthrough. So I appreciate you being here. I'm sorry it didn't come with tears, because that would have looked even better with mascara running down my face. But yes, now you know that I hate shopping, so consider it a done deal. You got it all in one shot. But, like I said, a lot of different things came up over the last 24 hours that just enabled me to process what was going on and made me a lot stronger. It fortified my defenses. And so this is one of the things, and it's a quote from Women Who Code that came out at midnight yesterday. While doing things that scare you, you are growing. So this is a little while loop. A while loop just keeps running until the condition isn't satisfied, and the condition is doing things that scare you. So when you get into a lackadaisical pattern, then you stop growing. So while you continue to do things that scare you, you continue to grow. So I hope to inspire everybody to do things that challenge their interest in moving forward. Because if it's not scaring you, it's not inspiring growth. I also want to tackle one more little thing that causes me some heartburn around the whole event, and that is who will be giving away the tech awards. Now, I'm fidgety, so you can tell it causes me some distress. Now, I've reached out to Coil, Ripple, Joel Katz, Michael Arrington, and other bigwigs in our community to ask them to be involved. And I hope that one of them chooses to become involved, because I think it would be great as a way of inviting people to recognize that people in our space are that bigwigs in our space think that this is really solid. At the same time, right, you have to look at the cost-benefit ratio that exists for these people. And when you look at scenarios like what we have going on or had going on with thru ambassadors, and people saying, oh, this person should be an ambassador and you should be doing this, and people that have no valid use case for being involved in that discussion, or even taking one side or the other, getting involved in that discussion, I can understand how the risk can be large, especially for a for-profit organization like Ripple, Coil, and other organizations. We are a community-driven group who is trying to recognize people in our community, and that is the beginning and end of it. Who chooses to be involved, that is on their heart, whether or not they choose to be involved. And that all the information in regards to who chooses to be involved is on Ledger, because we work in the blockchain space and distributed ledger. So I hope that one of those people get involved. And I think that was one of the things that was causing me some heartburn. But nonetheless, I also understand, or give them a get out of jail free card, because if it doesn't align with their own needs and what scares them or what inspires them to grow, then I can understand them not wanting to be involved. But I still am very, very hopeful. Do know I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. All right. So with all that out of the way, I only took up like half of my show. Let's go through the news in supersonic speed, because I think I cover a lot of things. This next tab I don't need to talk about, but again, another if it scares you, move forward. I do want to take a quick second to talk about the quantum computing information that came out yesterday. Bullrun Wonka put up a tweet. Bitcoin investors should be very scared of this new quantum computer being developed by Google. And that, for those that are not technical, may seem like something that is very scary. I think it is very scary in the future, right? But I don't think it's something that is very scary right now. And on this tweet, I actually responded. I'm hoping that I'm right in my response. But I responded so the trolls could come out and tell me that I'm wrong. It always makes life more enjoyable. So XRP is quantum resistant and upgradable. So in my belief, XRP is quantum resistant because it's a distributed ledger. We're not trying to do proof of work of trying to figure out the answer to a solution. Trying to solve a problem, with a solution is what proof of work is based on. And the faster you can solve the problem, then you win the award. So with quantum computing that can work at hundreds of times or thousands of times faster than a standard computer, quantum computing could displace the standard proof of work model that is used by blockchain solutions like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, etc., etc. So I think it is something to be scared about. But at the same time, if we go over here and listen to our lead engineer, our lead C++ engineer at Ripple, Nick says, I've said it before and I'll say it again, these claims of quantum supremacy, even official ones, whatever that means, are nonsense. The task that Google's team chose to tackle seems so contrived as to make their claims of quantum supremacy worthless. And so I'm going to give you guys this thread because I think if you're really interested in this conversation, it goes pretty deep pretty fast. I did not get as deep as I could on this because it gets into his a response that he posted about quantum computing on September 21st. You can access it from that thread. And within that thread, you have Issa Agor Lovecroft, who has been working in physics for 10 years and has this long, she uses some potty words. I was so proud of her when I read that. I was like, ooh, girl, you throw it down. You throw it down with some science stuff. And so, and she's so smart. Oh my goodness. She is super smart. But this just goes into the depths of the solution. When she created this post, she was working with a text-only version. If you're really interested in this, Hang Jun posted the actual paper relating to this is the quantum supremacy used in programming semiconductor processors. So this is the paper that was released by Google. So you can access it through the link that I just provided in the chat. So a very interesting conversation, and long and short, the problem, the solving of the problem as Issa puts forward. I think I'm saying her name wrong, and she's really smart. So Lovecroft, Miss Lovecroft. We'll call her Miss Lovecroft because she deserves that level of respect. The problem that they've solved is actually what the problem is. They haven't solved the problem. They've actually just taken a closer look at the bug that exists in the solution. And so she covers that really early on and, goes into at depth as to why it is not a valid solution. So just wanted to put that out there for anybody that was scared about this, quantum computing impacting what we have going on in our XRP ecosystem. But, following that with Corey Johnson, who decided to rear his haughty little head yesterday. So he put out a tweet saying, Ripple and XRP, it's already happening. And yes, I placed that bet. And it was a response to Katrina Pastor's tweet that says, this is too big to let go. Perhaps the Libra was a trial balloon, but let's not fool ourselves. Someone will control the digital infrastructure for global payments. Any bets on who the winner might be? Wink, wink, ha, ha. And, and Corey Johnson responded with Ripple and XRP, it's already happening. And yes, I placed my bet. So, he's placed his bet. And on that note, we have a tweet here from Gimme Crypto, Retire Young One, who is a new follow for me because they came up with this. Oh, where did I go? I fell off of it. Oh no, I lost it. How did I lose it? How did I close it? Oh no, reopen, close tab. Oh, dang it. Anyways, without my tab open, we'll just go back there. Goodness gracious, lost. But anyways, there is a new paper that is going to be released on Monday where they will be talking about the solution for central bank digital currencies that are being released. And it was deepen from Ripple who wrote the paper. And I think it's worth opening up. So I'm going to take the 15, I hope it takes only 15 seconds. Let's see how fast I can work. I'm really good with stuff like this. Yeah, bookmarks and all that jazz. She's got bookmarking down. So this is actually the tweet right here. Am I in the right spot? Nope. Go back over one more. Goodness, you guys are figuring out my master plan over here. Ha 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 ha. She's got a plan. Does she really have a plan? That's the question. Is this planned, or does she just have some tabs open? So the central bank payment news, which is a paper, we're excited for our upcoming issue out on Monday. That's next Monday. We have a double whammy to share with you: an exclusive update on the Riska Banken e-Krona project and a primer for Ripple's Dilla Pro to help guide central banks in designing with digital tokens. So yeah, the central bank payment news paper, we have news going out there about how the central banks could actually be doing this. So that definitely speaks to mass adoption at the more government and institutional level. I don't know if you guys caught Notorious XRP's video that he released, not yesterday, but the day before. I say he, but I think it's they, the infamous team that puts out, graphically stimulating videos that inspire us. But I don't know if you guys saw it. I really liked this last video because we got, a Throwback Thursday picture of Chris Larson talking about Ripple and the vision that they have, as well as some early footage of Michelle Hunt, I believe her name is, the lady that is heading up the new office that is opened up in DC. And the interesting thing about what she's talking about, it's really her quote. I had to go back and listen to it because I wanted to make sure that I was listening to it right. And this aligns to what I was saying earlier about, it's all about their risk profile and what they're willing to take on. Ripple, from the early days, has talked about working with regulators, working with institutions, KYC being critical for who they choose to, I was about to say get in bed with, but there's no getting in bed with when it comes organization to organization. It's more who do they choose to deal with. And they deal with, I believe, because they have an OTC, their stuff is being sold over OTC, accredited investors, institutions, as well as governments. And they've worked hard since the charges that were laid in 2015 to work with regulators. They have a large team of regulators that are on their board. And there was a tweet that was put out by Jerry that I didn't open up here that was just like, I have a friend in the space who, has been in finance forever, and, they're looking at this and they can't believe the concentration of people that are involved at Ripple helping to push this forward. And the fact that the central bank payment news is talking about, a primer, right? An introduction. All right. Ripple's providing an introduction to help central banks design their own digital tokens. Tells me that there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we probably don't have really clear information about, but without speculating, there's no need to speculate. The central bank payment news posted a tweet saying that we're going to be in there talking about it. So let's keep going. So another big important piece of information is the XRP ledger volume is up. And I thought this was really awesome. I think I'm missing another tab, but I was out on the XRP chart site, and the total, and I'm reading from the screen here, so the total trade volume, all exchanges, is $212 million, right? But then the XRP ledger trade volume, all pairs, is 452,000, okay? All right, I can accept that number. And then XRP ledger payment volume is $250 million. So this is the first time I've looked at this chart regularly, trying to see when payment volume exceeded the total amount of trading volume, and we seem to be there. Cryptopolis, and I seem to have lost that tweet because it was sort of what pinged me into this. And Cryptopolis says there was another tweet that was just like, the volume increase for yesterday was over 250%. And, I had to come out here and look at this. And these are amazing numbers. We've been watching payment volumes at a much lower level, and now we've really broken through and we've surpassed our trading volume on all of the different exchanges. And if you're interested in which exchanges have the highest trading volume, definitely leverage the XRP trading charts. So I'm almost out of time, but because I want to go and chit chat. So Cryptopolis is talking about the Nasdaq XRPLX liquidity index is now listed on Yahoo Finance. So again, we are finding ourselves into places which are regularly reserved for traditional investment vehicles. And don't get me wrong. Well, Bitcoin's already there. Ethereum's already there. Yes, whatever. Shush. Shh. Right? We're already talking about quantum computing, and people talking about, and people who are non-technical talking about wiping out, digital assets with it. So there's fear, uncertainty, and doubt for anybody who's non-technical and hears the words quantum computing and Bitcoin can be wiped out. Time to sell your bags. But I thought I'd give you guys a quick view of what this looks like. And, we were down earlier this week and we are up. We're back up, right? We're still down from where we were early on in the week, but we are up. I definitely missed the dip. And so this image was quite appropriate for me when I was like, oh, we're up even farther. When you buy the dip of that dip during the first dip, this is the amount of bags that you have. And this is what I feel like. I have the bags from the dip, of the dip before that, of the dip that never ended, of the dip that we are still in, of the crypto winter dip that is going on and has gone on more than a year. So if you didn't catch the dip, just think about whether or not you bought the prior dip, and we are ready to move on. So as you can see, I have tons more little tabs open here, but I always enjoy talking with you guys so much. Yeah, so let's go see who is in the chat. So David D was the first one here, and as I mentioned, I thought you might be that secret person. Then I realized that you weren't, based on our discussion and what had come through on Twitter. So thank you so much for being here, David D. Thank you for clearing that up. And thank you for talking to me. You really helped to bring together some of the stuff that I talked about this morning. So we also have the Crypto Camper. Good morning, the Crypto Camper. It's awesome to have you here. Followed by AJ. AJ, I hope things at work are going better and you have more time to spend with your beautiful wife and golfing. But golf season's done. I don't know if the golf courses are still open. We have Bob Moneybags. Awesome to have you here, Bob. And Silhouette Park Farms. Adam, always a pleasure. Nate, I don't know if you saw what we were talking about in regards to the quantum computing. I'm sure you did. I know that is something that is of high interest to you. And I don't have any time this weekend to talk through your whiz-bang idea on that relates to quantum computing. But I'm so grateful that you think about me for stuff like that. I do think you should talk to Nick. Nick seems to have it on lockdown, or is Miss Lovecroft. But Nate, awesome to have you here. Always a pleasure, my friend. Lionel, good morning, Lionel. And who else do we have? RTV Dutchy, my pleasure to have you here, honestly. XRP Carolina, always a pleasure when I see you in the stream. The great Pate, fantastic to have you here. I was in a DM with you yesterday, and I hope to be reaching out to you later today. I know that you are a very busy person, but I will get you some information, and I look forward to that discussion. We are your foundation. You are my foundation. David, you are my foundation. And when you are low on foundation, just go to town with some extra bright red lipstick. I love bright red lipstick because it seems to create a flawless finish. Yes, even though it's only on your lips. XRP Angel Connie, good morning. And XRP Angel Connie says the hellos all around the house, which is always awesome. Always a pleasure to have you here, my lady friend. And who else? Nixter89, man who just had baby, which is fantastic. I'm so excited that you are here. And thank you for all of the stuff that you do in the community, Nixer. I don't know if you guys know who Nixer is. I do want to give you guys a quick introduction to him. Because he is the individual behind the XRP tip bot statistics page. So this page is what we actually use for XRP to identify who has purchased a ticket and how much we have in our accounts at any one time. So, a lot of work has gone into this page. Nixer is continuing to make additional updates to this. And if you have an interest in, understanding which charities are collecting what and what has been sent, or you need to do any analysis on where your XRP has gone, the XRP tip bot statistics page can be very helpful. Also, I believe it's been about a week now since Nixer it took the opportunity to make an additional update. So there's also now a bot that will give you statistics from the XRP tip bot statistics page, and they're coming through on Twitter, and very, very interesting indeed. So thank you for showing up this morning, Nixer, and I hope your son is doing very well. Who else do we have? Electra Highway, fantastic to have you here this morning. And okay, and Nixer says, and no, XRP, okay, coming back because we're talking about quantum computing here. So we're back on quantum computing, okay? I'm sorry to take you guys back here. So XRP Angel Connie says, please hit the like and the subscribe with notifications to this channel. Thank you. I appreciate you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you, Connie. I appreciate you. And so if you have not liked or subscribed to this video, to my channel, please do that now. And so we're back on quantum computing, which is more nerd porn. Yes, I love nerd porn. You know, sapiosexuals over here, right? Meaning you love the smart conversations. You find it stimulating. So we're talking about this again. And we have Nate, who obviously said something up here. Sorry to take you guys backwards in the discussion, but I have really smart people in my chat. Really, quantum computing, Nate, and you just sit and laugh. Yes, but Electra Highway says the theory is sound, Nate. And Nixer says, and no, XRP is not quantum resistant yet. It has to be how the address private key is encrypted, and the current encryption is not quantum resistant. Okay, so Nixer, I agree with you, and that was the response that I put onto Willy Wonka's chat over here. Let's go back to that because it should be out here unless somebody chose to suppress my comment. But why is that? 2 more replies, and I think it's in here because I was hiding. It isn't XRP quantum resistant because it's a distributed ledger that uses consensus and not a puzzle solving proof of work solution. If my understanding is correct, then what remains vulnerable would be cracking the private public key combos. Some risk, it's the same risk that you have for your online banking access, because if they can figure out your password and your username and password, right? If you give them one part of the key, all they need to do is iterate through the rest. So I'm hoping I'm right on that. But Nixer, if you have more ideas on that, let me know. But updating the XRP ledger is much easier than the Bitcoin blockchain, and that's completely the truth. You've lost me. I'm really not that smart. Silhouette Park Farm, yes, you are that smart. Don't worry about it. We try and break it down here. XRP is quantum proof. See, this is the type of conversation I love. So Bob Moneybags, my login info at work probably quantum resistant. I always have to change my password to that. You know, there's a lot of different pieces to being quantum resistant, and the quantum resistance comes with how quickly you could crack the password. So there is actually a document out. There's many documents out online, I'm sure, that talk through, you know, here are all of the standard passwords that are used. Standard password list. Let's see. Default passwords. No. Standard password list used by people. So, you know, a lot of people, the top 10 most common passwords. Yes, this is the type of stuff that keeps security people going. Please change this. And it's revealed by CNN. It's not a list of most common passwords. So these are all of the passwords, not all of them. There are many more. So when you go through and do password cracking, these are the first ones you should try if you're smart, right? Start with the list that already exists. Run through all of those. Then there's other lists of, you know, dictionary words that have common parts that you can take out. So for example, the word heart, right? HEART. Replace the E with a 3 because it's a backwards E. So that's another common password. Or unicorn, right? Where you replace the I with a 1. These are words that people will use in their passwords. And that's why it's often recommended that you put together multiple words that don't form a sentence, like I love you. That would be on this list with a 1 and an O, you know, and other special characters, because people are like, okay, well, what should I put? Okay, well, I love Becca, right? And so that's where social engineering and some other pieces come in. It really depends on how big of an individual you are. If you're the president of the United States, you better have some pretty hardcore passwords, because you know people there's a lot of focus that's considered a money pot, whereas for you and me, these lists, along with just continuing to derive through them, would get them a lot of what they want. So quantum computing shortens the amount of time that is needed to actually solve the problem. Now, if you want detailed information into how quantum computing works, again, we have Isa Lovecroft, who goes in deep length about it. But you also have Nate XRP. His name on Twitter is Nate XRP, and he definitely needs more people out there blasting him with their crazy ideas about quantum computing, because he thinks that I'm smart and that electrical diagrams are something that I understand as he designs these things. And I'm like, yes, I do to some degree, and that's an awesome idea, but you go over my head very quickly. But so sorry, that feels like it was really loud. Sorry to go, yeah. Geeky stuff. What? No, addresses in their private key seeds are encrypted with 128-bit and 128 and algorithms are not quantum resistant. A quantum computer can calculate the seed to an address. Yep, I agree. Solve for quantum U.S. regulatory clarity for XRP. So this is a great question. What happens quicker, solve for quantum computing or U.S. regulatory clarity for XRP? So that is a great question. And Nixer says, in the future, it is likely that the XRP ledger will need new cryptographic signing algorithms to keep up with the developments in cryptography. I totally agree. And as those solutions are evolved, I'm hoping that I think it's going to be required, and I think that we're going to have big business in here putting forward the solutions that their architectural teams think are deemed necessary. One of the questions that I have is, will it exceed, and I don't have the answer to this, but will those changes exceed the capabilities that we will have within a mobile device? How will that work? Will it create a dependency on some external entity to manage all of that? I doubt it, but with my small brain, that's what it makes me think about. All right, great conversation. So David D, tell me if my 24-word seed is secure. Yeah. Open sesame. Yes, please send that over. We'll just call it a gift card at that point, right? And please don't post, if you're going to send it via email. Definitely send it via email with, a title like my seed password for, whatever device, because that will definitely be picked up by anybody who has a keylogger or, any other sort of malware on my computer, and they'll get it before I get it. So Carl's password is George is beautiful. Thank you so much, Leonelle. I appreciate that. Where is Carl Lewis? There he is. So we didn't get through everybody who is here, but we diverted for a conversation. So we have Electro Highway, I believe, is the last person that was recognized, followed by Carl Lewis, followed by SPO. Great, Nate. I had a conversation with you earlier. And yeah, I think we got to the end of the list. So Electro Highway says strong passwords are at least 24 characters long and even stronger if you add key files such as images or documents, etc. Yeah, I wish I had an even stronger password. My passwords are long with lots of different changes, but they aren't the longest. I think the majority of them are 24 characters long. Another thing is that you can use, you should have a new password for every single site that you use. You should also change your passwords on a regular basis, especially the passwords that you use for financial institutions. Because if a password that you have is compromised on one site and you use that on another site, you want to make sure that it is changed on a regular basis. So the more energy that you put into protecting your access to your online digital accounts, the better. And I want to point out one more thing. So password generator, right? So, strong random password generator. Now, these type of sites exist. And if you ever use one of these to generate a password, definitely make sure that you change the password that you get, right? But let's generate a password, because I think since we're on this topic, so this is a difficult password, right? It has the special characters, it has uppercase, lowercase, it doesn't tie back to a word like I love you. It's long. think it's only 16 characters, so let's go with the 24. But there's no way to associate this back to actually written words. They do give you, you know, a little mind jog that you can use for remembering your passwords. But this is the reason why a password manager is really valuable, because your password should be complex like this. I know when we write it, we're like, well, I'm having a difficult time even remembering this. But you should be using a password manager, which is a tool that you can use in the browser, on your computer, on your phone, that will manage your passwords. I use Keeper, which I think is fantastic. You do have to pay for it, but you know, the fact that you're paying for it means that you have developers working on a solution that they get paid for, and you know, its integrity there's a higher level of opportunity for it to have high integrity. There are tools out there that are completely free, but the challenge is that if people are working on it at night, are you sure that it has the security scans done on a regular basis? Do they put dedicated effort to it? Do they know if bugs exist? Do they have a team that just sits around and tests it? So there's some things that you should be investing money in, and two of those that I think you should be investing money in. Okay, three. We'll go with three because I have a funny one. You should be investing money in virus protection, right? Computer protection for your computer, a password manager, right? Because it's something that can manage your password, and you want to make sure that it's very secure, and foundation. Because if I was ever on a desert island, the one thing that I would want to be there with is foundation. So that's the third one. All right. Snoopy. I think you should cover some software for us called Snoopy. All right. Probably in another video because we've almost run out of time. But I like that idea. I'm more interested in software. I'm very interested in software. So there were a couple other topics that I was going to talk about today, and we've run out of time. I'd rather just hear what you guys have to say, but so I'm going to save them. Is there one back here? There is one back here. Let me go over here. I'm not going to show you all the stuff. So here, I just love these geeks. They're so awesome. So Vite Wind, he got his hands on the Neolus 1. I know I said that wrong. Really smart running Node.js, Wi-Fi, lots of GPIO, connected it to my XRPL node within a few lines of code. So now it blinks green on a close letter and red per 10 transactions on the ledger. Time for new IOV IoT project, right? So very interesting things that are way over my head, but Nate, I think this is a conversation you could probably get involved in. So what is Neonitis? Neonitis is this new, this is Neonitis right here, right? So it's a board that you can use to do, play with stuff totally outside of my realm. But here is a little video of Neonitis being used for closing this curtain, and so just really interesting implications of what this could be used for. Media cannot be, oh, there we go. So you see it's, closing the curtain. So you can do a lot of different things, and at this point it's really to enable people to start dealing with more of the electronic side, building things out. This would not be production ready, but more play. But I thought this was really interesting because over the last little while, I've been talking about how developers and open source software enable us to layer one. You solve one problem, I'll solve another one, I'll solve another one, and it just keeps going back and forth. And it's almost like layering of a cake or one-upping one another. So over here, I think we have it. So Vite Wind says, hey, I created this small little whiz thing over here. And then you've got Alloy Networks that comes in and said, hey, yeah, based on what you created, I created this. So this is one of the reasons why I think it's really important to support our developers, because they continue to build upon the stuff that each of them are building, and it just contributes to our overall environment. Microcontrollers, sort of like an Arduino. Yes, it is sort of like an Arduino. It just seems to be cheaper, actually. They did a Kickstarter, and on their thread, I see things like free, the word free, like you could actually use it for free. And it sounds as though the development interface is just using Node and JavaScript, TypeScript, or C++. Programming unique Node ES1 microcontroller board with JavaScript, TypeScript, or C++, C#, C++. And so in talking to my brother about his idea that he was building out on the Arduino board, just lots of issues in regards to using their development language to build. He actually got stopped by that and was having to go back to the drawing board. So this is something that I look forward to talking to him about, because his idea was really cool and would actually help an entire community of people who are usually, forced to use, a device that costs about $5,000 per unit, and with a class size of 20 people, that's a lot of money for nothing. So yes, please hit the like and subscribe and notifications. So I have one. So Electra Highway says, I have one, Nate. I also have the Arduino, which I think the Arduino is the fake Arduino, I believe. I actually met the creators of Arduino, and it was one of those moments like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm meeting them. Oh, they're so wonderful. Well, I used an Arduino to show how you could use the software that we created from my startup to actually control, hardware. Excuse me, and it was really cool. So $40 USD for the board. Awesome. That's really good to know. So Nixer, do you have one of these already? Because it sounds like something that you've looked into. Why have only 2 of us clicked like? I don't know, but my contentment in life is not based on what people think of me. It's based on how I contribute to this world. So please go click like. Please click like. I would appreciate it. Or you could use bubbles to open the curtains. I hear we need 2 new at the gig. So for people who join late, I don't know if you heard what I said at the beginning. I doubt some of you guys will go back. So let me just repeat it now. So that we had a donor that had taken us over they took us to like well, here's the funny thing. I don't know if it's one donor or multiple donors because of the way that transactions came in. So I think it's multiple donors, but there was one account that told me to keep my eyes open, look. And so I tried researching, okay, who is this person? It barely exists. And they came back. So it leads me to believe that they watched my show and came back and asked that I open up the award show for everybody. And I was talking about some of my beliefs about who I thought that might have been in the beginning, but that was pushed to the side. And so I wasn't sure what I was going to do when I was starting the show, but I actually decided we will be opening up the show to everybody. But only people who have an assigned ticket have the opportunity to win the prizes. One of the challenges that I think we have in this space is that how to raise funds for development and open source projects. And I think we've cracked this nut. It is a lot of work, I have to say, but for other communities that are trying to do community-based funding, I think this is something that they could benefit from. I'm a supporter of all digital assets. I support XRP the most, but innovation is going to come from everywhere. And in order to create the best solution, we have to enable people to follow their inspiration and come up with great ideas. So yeah, we will be opening the show up to everybody. So Tone Vase is somebody that we will definitely need to have there, but we also need a lot of moderators so that anybody who does show up that does not troll our community and create a bad experience. So more emphasis will be put on that part of the show. But I think this is a good idea. I think it was a good pivot. It leads me to believe that the donors actually watches this show, because this answer came in, or this request came in less than 24 hours. I saw it this morning, but it looks as though it appeared sometime overnight. And fact of the matter is that I appreciate it. I think it's a great idea. And and I just woke up, Lionel. Tone Vase, what? Yes, what I was saying, Lionel, is that the award show might be a great way to introduce Tone Vase to XRP, so he can understand how cool our environment is, and he won't be scared of losing his friends if he comes on over. So Electra Highway is talking to Nate. Have one attached to the back of my hard drive screen, and I use it as a second PC. And so I think they're still talking about the Arduino. And Electra Highway, let's go see. Are you on Twitter? Because you have been here a little bit and I haven't gone and stalked you on Twitter. So let's go see. Let's go see if you are on Twitter because, oh, you are. Ooh, and I'm following you. And you have a picture of a hairless cat as your first picture that you pinned. You have a sense of humor, I can already tell. So this is fantastic. So it's great to have you. So that for those that would like to follow Electra Highway, let's add your name there. You seem like a technical person, and it's always interesting to have people who can take us in that direction because some of us don't have as much knowledge. His name is Anthony Vezabrod. Doesn't surprise me. And I, as I said, we need many different people that are thinking different thoughts. So we don't have groupthink. Breaking out of one way of thinking requires us to have a diverse group of people at the table for the discussion. It's just that some of them yell louder than others, and some of them you just ignore very quickly. And no, this is not a picture of Tone Vase sitting on my screen right now, but you know, it might be appropriate considering the way he talks about Bitcoin. That was my bad joke of the day. So on that note, I think we have come to the end. I'm really, really grateful to everybody who reached out last week, or not last, it feels like last week, it feels like yesterday, but who reached out. I found my root. I figured out what was causing me distress, and I think I worked through it. And I'm really excited about planning this event. I've been saying it's like planning a party for a wedding and totally moaning about it. But the fact of the matter is that I'm so grateful that I get to plan an event like this. So I need to turn the dialogue I have around on this. And the goal is to get as many people there as possible. So we will start marketing out the fact that access is open to everybody, probably this weekend. So if somebody, and you know, the interesting thing is that we have people around the globe who, you know, rubbing 5 XRP together may have been difficult, but they do have a phone, and we might have this as an opportunity to introduce them to digital assets. So there were some ideas on how to get the show started, and I think some of those might be back on the table. So XRP Bags, hey, what's up? What's up, XRP family? Great to have you here. We are just starting to wrap up. But fantastic. Thank you so much for dropping into the live stream. If you have not already liked and subscribed to my channel, please do both. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think. I don't know if you guys saw, but the OTC gang is actually rolling out videos. I saw a video from Crypto Eerie this morning when I was waking up. So definitely go check out what they're doing. There's a lot of great things going on in our community as well. The XRP Zoo is having, let's go find XRP Zoo. They are having their birthday bash. I thought it was going to be Saturday. That's why I was so focused on trying to highlight that. But come on, you guys have to have this up here somewhere because I was looking for it. So right here, come join us for our 1-year birthday stream with our good friends, Crypto Eerie, Jungle Inc., Sam I Am, Oz Crypto, and the Kung Fu Nerd, Monday the 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So this should be a lot of fun. It's a great opportunity. It's a lot like my show, but completely different, and should be a lot of fun. And there should be a lot of people there just talking about good times and being part of the XRP community. So on that note, I think I'm done. I think I'm ready for the weekend, but I still have a full day of work left, and I am late leaving. So goals for next week: try and stick to 30 minutes. I'm gonna try that, and come prepared to have a lot of fun. If you guys have any ideas in regards to what you would like to hear more about, definitely reach out to me on Twitter. I would love to hear those. And yeah, on that note, I think I am out of here. Don't forget to vote, right? Voting ends November 2nd. So we have on Monday, because I don't want, there's somebody who is voting for themselves. So I'm not trying to push out a lot of numbers so that they can repetitively do that and understand all the stats. So Monday we'll have that information coming out again. But we're getting close to November 2nd. November 2nd voting will close, and we will have any runoffs in the time following that. Also, because I'm supposed to be out of town from November 5th to November 12th, So we'll see if that actually happens, because I'm planning this amazing event. So anyways, I am out of here. I hope you guys have a great day and go out and do the XRP crypto craze dance. Yes, I need more of those videos. That would be awesome. And I love you and thank you so much for all your caring support. Until next time, that's it. I'm out of here. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.